Alright everyone, it's time for the Occult video 213, Indifference Superior to Hate. Hate being, I wouldn't say a negative or a bad emotion, but an unhelpful one in many cases. Here's the basic premise of saying this. Passivity or indifference being the best overall attitude you can have with something that is impacting you negatively. If it's something that you enjoy, it's like, who would want to eliminate joy from their life? I understand some people, like some Eastern Bloc philosophy might say, well, the joy is fleeting too, it's temporal and materialistic, and you should avoid excessive amounts of joy. Just have inner peace. But I don't believe in that. I'm not an ascetic, so I'm an Epicurean. It's a little bit different. Here's what I would say. Insofar as negative feelings hold you back or whatever, keep in mind that if you dislike something, it can be liked. It's dichotomous, or at least in premise, in theory. If you hate, like, let's say a person, if you actually actively hate them, you're thinking about them, you have the ability, the fact that they're able to make you feel emotions at all means that if situations were altered, you could love them, right? Well, then you're giving them control. You're giving them control of your most virulent passions. You're giving them control of your most strong two emotions. The drive towards aggression and hate and anger and vengeance, and the drive towards love in some aspect, or adoration. It doesn't have to be like sexual or romantic love. It could be like appreciation, adoration, a feeling, a longing, a bonded need or something. It can make you feel that way. In fact, insofar as you're hating that person, you're already bonded to them in a fashion, because they've affected you. Because you've become part and parcel of one another. You're interacting together, even indirectly. Like, you don't have to talk to them or anything, but you're interacting still in an emotional way. But if you become totally indifferent, if you just don't care, you don't regard the existence of a person, place, or thing, then that passivity breaks that bond completely. It's like some occultists that I think generally understand this basic concept. Mostly people who've delved into the Eastern paths, ironically enough, will do like rites of severance. I won't name names, but I've known some occultists who have done this before. I choose not to, because I've observed it not to always really be that that working. Again, not using names, I know several prominent occultists who have performed severance rituals, or said they did in the past, and the severance was by far not complete, so I don't get into that side of ritualism. I think it's worthless. Maybe psychologically it can be worthwhile in some cases, but I've observed it to specifically not work in multiple cases. I shy away from it because these are people that I generally trust on an occult level. The experiment seems not to have been a success, but the object, the idea, is to sever oneself, in that case, from a person. Actually, technically a group of people, or an overarching concept, an idea, whether it works or not. And the idea is to sever oneself from it, because it's like with the regards to negative emotion or hate, it's like two birds grappling in the sky and going into a tailspin. If they don't sever themselves, they both hit the ground and fucking get injured or die, and then, maybe the one that lived picks the bones of the other one for a while before hopefully being uninjured enough to fly off. It's detrimental. It doesn't make any sense. You waste time, you waste emotional energy. It can be draining, especially for those of us who are very introverted. Now, it's not that I hate people, or, well, some people I do. It's not that I hate society, or disdain it, rather. I don't have hate, but disdain for society and its ignorance, or people in a general sense. I'm like, I prefer to be around trees generally, because trees are more peaceful. They're less harmful. If you're introverted, if you're more self-led, you like to be alone, you like to do your own thing, you definitely need to be very, very aware of that potential connection that you can create with other people that can hold you back. Because it'll drain that emotional energy. What little energy you have for social interaction or thinking about people, as opposed to, your ambitions or work or whatever, it's very spare. There's very, very little of it to actually give. There's a reason why I like communicating with people this way. It doesn't drain my emotional energy. Right now I'm talking to you, but I'm also technically, in the live sense, I'm talking to a camera. It's not another person. So the tech revolution is a wonderful intermediary. I wouldn't have nearly as much. So if it weren't for the internet, you just think I'd probably be homeless right now. I wouldn't be able. I don't think that I would be able to work the average office-dwelling 9 to 5. I'm just not social enough for it. I'd probably end up addicted to Xanax and binge drinking and stuff. Probably end up under a bridge somewhere. It'd be a problem. But yeah, you've got to think about your emotional connections to others. Sometimes it pays to dumb them down, and it can be a process. Like the natural inclination, even among introverts, is to form those connections, negative, positive, whatever. It's like, they say love hurts. Well, yeah, I mean, form a deep bond to someone, it ends, and you feel all cut up about it. It makes sense to adopt a situation of passivity whenever possible. Now, of course, that's not to say that you spurn deeper emotions. Like, let's say, someone, some serial killer kills your whole family. It's like, yeah, you probably hate them. Let's be honest. It doesn't matter if you're a Zen Buddhist. You can pretend to say, well, I forgive them, Om, or something. Fuck you. You hate them. Now, don't pretend to be fucking higher and mighty. Just don't be a megachurch pastor, fucking snake oil salesman. No, you hate them, and you'll hate them for a long time. You'll just cover it up because of your own spiritual progression, so-called. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about for more topical purposes, where there's no driving need to feel that negativity, or where it's not totally overwhelming, which is always temporary. And it passes, it burns itself out. Like a fire extinguishes itself, it runs out of oxygen in its enclosed unit. Your mind is enclosed. It burns all the oxygen out, and it goes out on its own. Wonderful. Everyone has to feel that negativity. So you feel overwhelming jealousy. That person got the car, I didn't. Oh, fuck. Something like that. But in the long term, it pays to disconnect yourself. Just be totally passive, dismissive even. It doesn't have to have no element of negativity. It can be a form of disdain. But you don't actively recall it, you don't give it importance. It's just like, person that doesn't matter, thing that doesn't matter, phenomenon, group that doesn't matter. It's far superior to active hate. It doesn't eat away at your soul and rot you from the inside out like a papaya in the hot sun. That's about all. Peace out.